One member of the NYPD taking the time to help a 70-year-old homeless man. The officer bought a special pair of socks to help the man who suffers from diabetes.
Pix 11's Marvin Scott has more on their touching exchange.
Christmas is definitely alive and well.
It certainly is. And it was police officer Frank Rendina who infused it with life with his big heart. He gave an $18 pair of socks to 70-year-old Ron Brown, a homeless man who beds down at Grand Central Terminal. He and the officer would occasionally run into one another and chat, as they did last Friday, when Brown complained about his swollen feet and told him a doctor said he was in need of a pair of compression socks.
You know what? For Christmas, I will make sure you get your diabetic socks.
Santa Claus came with it.
What motivated you to do this?
I'm not sure there was really any true motivation. It was just seeing someone that was in need. He needed something that would cause him less pain. I was able to provide him with that. For me, I don't know that there was any other motivation behind it.
Brown, who used to be a golf caddy from South Carolina, has made the terminal his home for the past year. He recently had brain surgery. We found him slumped over along the walkway to the 4, 5, and 6 train. He told me he was touched by what the police officer had done.
Showed me, and now it's showing other people that how good people are from their heart.
32-year-old Officer Rendina, on the force 4 years, said it was all an emotional moment.
It did get a little bit emotional, and I don't know that it would have been as emotional if it wasn't for this much attention behind it. But yeah, it definitely did get a little emotional. He cried quite a bit, actually.
I'm Marvin Scott, Pix 11 News.
Earlier this month, a homeless man got the attention of an NYPD officer, and the man was touched by his kindness. Well, tonight, the story continues. Pix 11's Marvin Scott joining us live in the studio now with a touching update. Marvin.
John Tampson, this story truly epitomizes the spirit of Christmas and the sentiment that it is much more blessed to give than to receive. It is a tale of how a report I did here on this broadcast touched one viewer and influenced her to make a big difference for one homeless man this holiday.
This is one of the best Christmas that I had in my entire life, and I really mean it from my heart.
It sure is quite a Christmas for Ron Brown. With the help of a benevolent Connecticut woman and Pix 11 News, we got him to the airport for a first-class flight to be with his family in North Carolina. What a difference a couple of weeks make. Ron won't be bedding down in Grand Central Terminal for the next week. That has been his home for the past 2 years, and it's where we found him after a police officer gave him an $18 pair of compression socks for his swollen feet. Our report caught the attention of Mary Peck, who was so moved by his story that she offered to help him.
It was so heartwarming that I wanted to do something and help him get out of his situation.
Mary Peck hoped to find him a place to live and offered a ticket to join his family anywhere in the country. That began the challenge for me. Try to find a particular homeless person among hundreds huddled in the passageways of Grand Central. After 4 visits and with the help of the NYPD, we found Ron, who was so grateful for the offer.
I just want to say, Miss Mary, thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Mary bought him a ticket to fly first class to Charlotte to get him to his family in time for the funeral of his mother, who died at the age of 95 last Friday. But wait, he couldn't go home in the clothes he'd been living in and so badly soiled. I reached out to the folks at Men's Warehouse, who agreed to outfit the 64-year-old homeless man at its flagship store on Madison Avenue.
What size you wear?
36 in the waist, 30 length.
And a sweater, what size?
Extra large.
We have one combination here, second combination here, and the third one here. Which one you like?
It was so heartwarming watching this homeless man get so excited over things most of us take for granted. You're looking kind of spiffy there. How you feeling?
I feel real good, real good.
Before he left, the store manager had something a little extra.
That's from the flagship store for lunch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy, huh? And happy holiday.
To get him to the airport, I reached out to David Seelinger, owner of Empire CLS Worldwide Chauffeured Services, for his ground transportation. Ron wasn't quite used to riding in such a fancy car.
I'm beginning to believe it now. I see all these cars out here. We're on the thruway, and I'm getting happier and happier.
Marvin called and put Ron on the phone, and we wished him well and goodbye and have a great trip, and he really is thrilled.
Miss Mary, I just want to tell you, thank you ever so much, Miss Mary. Have no one never, ever treated me this way, Miss Mary.
Ron, who recently underwent brain surgery and suffers a disability, once served as a caddy on the PGA circuit. He certainly understands the spirit of Christmas.
When you help someone, it's the most beautiful and good feeling you could ever have. And I really mean that. And I wish someday I'll be able to help someone. Because this right here is the best Christmas I ever had. Thank you, Mr. Scott, and thank you, Miss Mary.
And I'm really happy that we were all able to make this work and let him have at least a great Christmas.
We arrived on time for Ron's flight, the first time on a plane for him in more than 10 years. We could sense his excitement. There was no baggage for him to check. He clutched a small bag with his only real possessions, medications and some personal items. An American Airlines attendant helped him to get through security and to the gate as we said goodbye.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Bless you. Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Enjoy. Ron is with his 5 sisters and 4 brothers tonight, a homeless man in the warmth of his family's home. When he returns to New York, Mary Peck tells me she plans to help him find a permanent place to live. And I have to tell you, as a reporter, it is so uplifting to be able to do something so positive for one homeless person. While at the same time, we hold in our thoughts and our prayers this holiday the multitude of others who remain homeless, sadly, tonight. Tamsin, John?
Fantastic story.
I don't think anyone could have said that any better. That was just unbelievable.
Good luck to Ron. What a great guy, and so many great people helping. And just like you said, remember all the others. Marvin, thank you very much.